I can tell you the suspect in this case, Shamar Ed Elkins, has been identified. He is the father of 7 of the children that were killed in this house. There is an 8th child that was also killed, as well as the 2 females that were involved. Both of them had gunshot wounds. One of them is still in life-threatening condition. The other is in serious condition, but is expected to recover. There was also an additional female and an additional 13-year-old juvenile that fled from this house and actually jumped off the roof. They both had injuries sustained from fleeing from the incident, but they are both expected to recover.
8 children shot in their beds while they slept. The youngest was 3 years old. Their father did it, and 2 weeks before, he posted a photo with all of them smiling. The caption said, "With all my kids, what a blessed day." The Saturday night before, the neighbor across the street waved at him. He waved back. The children were playing in the yard. 12 hours later, they were all dead. But the question nobody can answer is, what drives a father to kill his own children? Was this a breakdown, a decision made in the dark hours of that morning, or was this planned? Because 2 days before, he told his stepfather something nobody forgets. He said, "Some people don't come back from their demons." And if everything the evidence shows is true, and all of it points in one direction, the only question left is, does a person who does this deserve to keep living? The police answered that question at 7:03 a.m. Stay with us, because this video is going to show you what happened inside that house, what the evidence reveals about whether this was planned, and why a system that had multiple chances to stop Shamar Elkins let him walk free with a gun. Every claim in this video is attributed to a named source. This is not speculation. If this case matters to you, subscribe right now. Hit the notification bell, drop a comment below, tell us, do you think this was planned? And if it was, who failed these children? Her name was Jayla, she was 3 years old. Her name was Shayla, she was 5. Kayla was 6. Layla was 7. Kadarian was 6. Braylon was 5. Markaden was 10. Soraya was 11 years old. 7 were his own children. 1, Kayla, was their cousin. She was 6 years old, visiting for the weekend. Their father was Shamar Elkins, 31 years old, former soldier, former UPS worker, a man his neighbor described as completely normal the night before. This is what happened. At approximately 5:55 a.m. on Sunday, April 19th, Shreveport police received the first call. A caller was on the roof of a house on West 79th Street. She said the suspect was inside, that someone had been shot. 3 minutes later,
Over 30% of our crimes and 30% of our murders in the city of Shreveport are domestic in relation. Now that number has gone up. We've more than doubled our homicides in the city of Shreveport because of one act of domestic violence. We as a community, black, white.
Later, a second call confirmed the suspect was a family member. Dispatch was told 9 people lived at that address. 1 minute after that, the caller said Shamar Elkins had shot everyone inside the home. At 6 a.m., she told dispatch she and her children had fled from the roof to the backyard. At 6:01 a.m., officers arrived on scene. What they found inside that house is something Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith described as perhaps the most tragic situation in the city's recent history. 8 children, shot execution style, most of them in their beds, most of them shot in the head while they slept. But not all of them were in their beds. Some of them tried to run. Police spokesperson Chris Bordelon confirmed what the evidence at the scene showed. He said, "There is a window right above the garage. They actually climbed out of that window. And unfortunately, one of the children was located deceased on the roof. We believe he shot the child while the child was on the roof trying to get away. A child climbed out a window to escape. Her father followed her with the gun. He shot her on the roof. She never made it down. One child, a 13-year-old boy, jumped from the roof and survived. He landed with broken bones. He is expected to recover. He is the only one who made it out." Now let's talk about what Shamar Elkins did next. Because a man who just killed 8 children did not stop. He did not stay. He did not call for help. He did not turn himself in. He drove to a second location on Harrison Street. He shot a woman there. He took her 3 children from that location. Then he carjacked a red Kia Sportage at gunpoint. He led Shreveport police on a high-speed chase across the Red River Bridge into Bossier City. At 6:29 a.m., officers made contact with the suspect through an exchange of gunfire.
Also, a tragic story in Shreveport, Louisiana, where a man killed 7 of his own children and another child on Sunday. The oldest of the children was just 11 years old, and the youngest was 3.
The 2 women he shot, both mothers of his children, were hospitalized with serious injuries. Both are expected to survive. The investigation spanned 4 separate crime scenes across 2 parishes. Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith said it was by far one of the most challenging incidents SPD has ever faced. Now the question everyone is asking, was this planned? Shamar Elkins and his wife Shaniqua were separating. They were due in court on Monday morning, the day after the shooting, for a divorce hearing. Crystal Brown, a cousin of one of the wounded women, confirmed to the Associated Press that the couple had been arguing about the separation before the shooting. His mother and stepfather told the New York Times he had been drowning in dark thoughts, that he was stressed about his relationship with his wife, and his stepfather Marcus Jackson said something that now reads as a warning nobody acted on. He said, "I told him you can beat stuff, man. I don't care what you're going through, you can beat it." And Elkins told him something that now reads like a confession. Some people don't come back from their demons. He said that before Sunday morning, and then he proved it. The neighbor across the street told CBS News, no signs, nothing. The kids played in the yard every single evening. Saturday night he sat on the porch and waved. 12 hours later, they were gone. Now the question the evidence demands, how did Shamar Elkins have a gun? Because this is not a man with a clean record. In 2019, Elkins was arrested on charges of illegal use of weapons and carrying a firearm on school property. Court documents obtained by CNN confirm what happened. Elkins pulled a 9mm handgun from his pants and fired 5 rounds at a vehicle. The shooting occurrred less than 300 feet from Caddo Magnet High School while children were playing outside. He pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 18 months of probation, not prison, probation. He served his probation. His record shows a conviction for an illegal weapons charge, a conviction that, in most jurisdictions, prohibits a person from legally owning or possessing a firearm. And yet, when officers found his body on Brompton Lane on Sunday morning, he was armed with a rifle-style pistol. Our investigators are now working with the ATF to determine the origin of that weapon, how Elkins obtained it, where it came from. Shreveport police spokesperson Chris Bordelon confirmed police were not aware of any other domestic violence issues involving Elkins prior to Sunday, and then 8 children shot in their beds. The system had him in 2019. It let him go. 7 years later, 8 children paid for that decision with their lives. Shreveport Mayor Tom Arsenault stood outside the house on West 79th Street on Sunday and said, "This is a tragic situation. Maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had in Shreveport." Sheriff Whitehorn noted something that makes this case even more painful. Just 10 days before the shooting, the Caddo Sheriff's Office opened a new domestic violence center, a facility designed specifically to protect victims and support families before violence escalates. 10 days, and 8 children died in a domestic violence incident that nobody saw coming. Or did they? His stepfather heard the demons. His mother texted him 4 days before asking about the children. He replied, "Everyone is doing okay. Everyone is doing okay." 4 days later, they were gone. Shamar Elkins is dead. He was killed by police at 7:03 a.m. On the same morning, he murdered 8 children. He will not face trial. He will not sit in a courtroom. He will not look at the families of the children he killed. And here is the question that thousands of people watching this case are asking out loud in the comments right now. Was that justice, or was it too easy? They deserved a trial, a verdict, a sentence. And they deserved someone to stand up in a courtroom and say out loud, "This is what you took from the world. Jayla was 3, Shayla was 5, Kayla and Kadarian were 6, Layla was 7, Braylon was 5, Markaden was 10, Saria was 11. The system had him in 2019 and let him go. His stepfather heard the demons and said, "You can beat it." He said some people don't come back. He was right. And 8 children, who had nothing to do with his demons, are gone. They deserved better. From him, from the courts, from the system that saw him in 2019 and looked away. If you have any information about this case or about domestic violence situations in your community, contact the Shreveport Police Department or the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Drop a comment below. Sure, tell us. Do you think this was planned from the beginning? And do you think the system failed these children in 2019? Subscribe, like, share this video. Because these 8 children deserve more than a news headline that disappears in 24 hours. Their names deserve to be remembered. This video presents analysis based exclusively on publicly documented evidence and statements attributed to named sources. The purpose of this channel is to examine documented evidence and raise questions of public accountability, not to speculate beyond what confirmed reporting supports. The silenced case, where documented evidence reveals what someone decided you shouldn't know.